Well, either way, we're going to go over some James Earl Jones stuff here. A galaxy mourns as legendary Star Wars and Conan the Barbarian star James Earl Jones passes away at 93. The world feels a little emptier now that legendary actor James Earl Jones is no longer in it. His agent Barry McPherson confirmed to ABC News that the legendary Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award winner have become one with the Force on Monday. Monday morning, while surrounded by loved ones at his home in Dutchess County, New York. He made it to 93 years of age. Not a bad run at all. Amen to that indeed. James Earl Jones was born on January 17th, 1931 in Arcapatula, Mississippi. In an almost cosmic twist of irony, he had a stuttering problem as a kid. It was a teacher in high school who noticed his talent for writing poetry and encouraged him to read his work out loud. Not only did this send him down the spotlighted path of the thespian side, but it helped him cure his stutter, and some might argue a little too well. After serving in the military, of course he was a veteran, the legends always are, and just barely avoiding the Korean War, First Lieutenant Jones, he was an officer, made his Broadway debut in the late 1950s and was active in the New York Shakespeare in the Park program. In 1964, a tremendous performance as the title character in Othello, before going on to deliver his breakthrough performance as a boxer, Jack Jefferson, in the 1966 Broadway drama The Great White Hope. In 1964, Jones would make his film debut between the B-52 bomber Lieutenant Lathora Zog in Stanley Kubrick's dark comedy masterpiece, Dr. Strangelove. Oh, a classic. From there, he would take a few bit parts in the comedies in The End of the Road before being invited to reprise his role as Jack Jefferson in the 1970 film adaptation of The Great White Hope, for which he would go on to receive an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, the second African-American performer to ever do so after Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier. And then in 1977, Jones would land arguably the most iconic role of his entire career, being brought in to do the voice of Anakin Skywalker, a.k.a. Darth Vader, for the blockbuster space opera Star Wars. It was just Star Wars at the time. Star Wars: A New Hope, after George Lucas found himself unhappy with how the character's physical actor, David Prowse, sounded in costume. Shockingly enough, Jones asked to not be credited for his work on the first two installments during their original theatrical runs. However, by the time Return of the Jedi, he had finally realized that it was his destiny to embrace the role and own it until the end of time. Amen to that one. From a young man who stuttered to one of the most recognizable voices in history, Jones' powerful basso profundo rolled across stages and cinemas with an alternative rumble that commanded the undivided attention of his audiences. And in addition to his above roles, the actor would go on to lend his imitating yet enthralling presence to many unforgettable characters, including the evil snake sorcerer Thulsa Doom in Conan the Barbarian, King Jafar in Coming to America, what a classic, Mr. Myrtle in The Sandlot, 1992, and King Mufasa in The Lion King, 1994. And I mean, literally, for anybody out there who grew up in like the 80s or the 90s or probably even beyond that in both directions, this man's voice was the voice of your childhood. Between Mufasa, say it again, Mufasa, ooh, say it again, Mufasa, ooh, literally to Darth Vader, the scariest sci-fi villain you thought of as a kid, the most evil, menacing force in the galaxy. Just, man, oh man. And anybody that watched Saturday afternoon television in the 80s or the 90s when they were playing reruns of Conan the Barbarian, oh yeah, Thulsa Doom. I mean, could you have had anybody where they better voice to portray some of these characters? I mean, the kingly lion in The Lion King, Mufasa, the father, the patriarch. What better voice could you possibly have asked than from this man? The public outpouring of online grief after his passing came faster than light speed, with one of the first to say goodbye being his fictional son, Mark Hamill. Retweeting Variety's announcement of Jones' passing, the Luke Skywalker actor simply wrote, #Rest in peace, Dad. And for all the things we can say crappy about Mark Hamill, Shout out to him for being a classy dude on this one. Absolutely. The Empire State Building, rest in peace, Lord Vader. They posted this picture of when they did the big Star Wars little fancy flash stuff and all their little cinematography stuff that they did, their little light display that they did on the side of it in celebration for Star Wars. And so, yeah, they posted this out there, specifically the picture of him. So rest in peace, rest in power, King. May the force be with you, and may it be with us all. Amen to that. A galaxy indeed does mourn. Shout out to James Earl Jones. You will always be remembered, my friend. You are an icon for generations, and you will always be remembered. Rest in peace, good sir.